You're so tired. You're so sore. You're like, I just want to go home. Like, what is that thing that kind of keeps you going every single race?
I'm Olympian Colleen Quigley. I'm out here on the iconic Boston Esplanade. I got nerd clusters, I got bananas, I got gels, I got water, I got coconut water, and I am answering any of your questions, running related questions that you might have. And I'm really excited to see what these runners got for me.
Hi, buddy. You want some nerd clusters? I want you to tell me if this is true or not. So my mom taught me when I was younger to like really swing your arms to go faster.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
And then
Mama's always right. You should know that. Mama's always right.
She noticed when I was running that my hands were always closed.
Okay.
And so she was like, open them.
Okay, well, maybe Mama's not always right. Okay. So you don't like open them, like you don't want to clench them.
Okay.
Right? So maybe we're just trying to find a happy medium. You don't want to also like this is called like blades.
Okay.
Like when you're sprinting, I feel like you'd have like open
I do that.
hands like
I
this.
do this.
But when we're out here on the Esplanade, just like going sexy pace, you just want to kind of have like a relaxed hand.
I know you mentioned you're a track athlete, so you're probably not eating while you're running, but
sometimes I do.
Okay, so I just want to like hear more about that and like what you, how you feel like on race day.
Yep, it's one thing that I early in my career didn't do nearly enough of and didn't pay attention to at all. Like I would go for an hour and 45-minute run and not drink or eat anything.
Oh my goodness.
And I would never do that now.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a huge mistake, and I was like leaving a lot on the table in terms of performance during that run. But really for me, the biggest thing is the recovery. It's not really any one run or any one workout that's gonna make or break you. It's stringing together training, like weeks and weeks and months, and honestly years and years of consistent training that makes you better. And if you can't do that because you're not fueling along the way and you keep breaking down, you're never going to be able to like build that consistency back up. It's really getting in as much as you can, as much as your like stomach and GI can kind of deal with, so that you end the run feeling like, ideally, you'd end feeling like you could keep going. If you wait until you feel like you need it, it might actually be too late.
Were you always at like the top of the game, or was it one of these things where you feel like you just outworked everyone?
It's a combination of things. I think, first of all, I think a lot of people work really hard, and just being in the sport long enough to know that there's a lot of people who are so talented and a lot of people that work really hard. I know some really amazing athletes who competed for many years and got to go to world championships and have world championships medals, but for whatever reason, every 4 years when the Olympics came around, it wasn't the right timing for them. So it's a combination of having the right people in your corner, having the talent, having the work ethic, and then having some luck and like having all those come together, at the right time.
Like you can just like burn yourself down like from the pressure of competition. But at the end of the day, like that's why you train.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So for you, how do you find that balance of, keeping the fire going, but also just remembering why you started?
Yeah, it is such a tricky thing, and I think for so many years, I think why I kept getting injured was because of like the fire of and the intensity of it and the pressure of it was just too strong, and then I couldn't even let myself heal. I just couldn't tap into the like recover rest side because I was just like too wired all the time. But figuring out you can't be on all the time, you can't be like fired up to compete all the time. You're also not going to be like hyper motivated and hyper inspired all the time. Like you will have times like that, kind of leaning into like there's seasons for everything. Like we have a track season where we're like racing and competing. Right now I'm in off seasons, and you have to have those times to like reset and kind of like get to the point where you miss it. Like I want to get to the point where I wake up in the morning and I want to go run again.
I think like transitioning away from college athletics, sometimes it's hard to balance like loving running and wanting to put everything into it, but also focusing on your career. So like what advice do you have?
For anyone who's like transitioning out of the NCAA, maybe into like a normal job, there can be a lot of purpose and a lot of fulfillment in other areas that aren't running, and there's still plenty of room for running and plenty of room for high performance running, and like doing workouts and pushing yourself in that way. Like I don't think you need to like eliminate that from your life if it feels really good to you. Maybe it takes a backseat for a while and you're not really feeling like you're putting much energy into it because you're putting more energy somewhere else. and then that kind of stabilizes and you have your career going, and then you feel like, okay, now I have more energy for the running again. You might come back to it more later, but I think that's just like a totally normal process as you like grow and develop as a human being and a well-rounded human being.
Thank you. Also,
Yeah.
one more question.
Okay.
Socks with spikes or no socks with spikes for steeplechase?
Your answer first.
I wear no socks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also team no socks.
Even for distances I've run before, like I know I want to run significantly faster than my last time,
Yeah.
and it helps to have a goal, but I have no idea what that should be.
Yeah. Okay, this is such a great question. Sometimes instead of like pace goals or like looking at your watch more, it could be a good idea to focus more on like a feeling or like an effort level 1 to 10. Maybe one thing you could focus on would be like building your pace throughout and having the goal of like every mile you're getting a little bit faster and like having your fastest mile be at the end. Your effort level should also feel like it's building as you go. You gotta get some reps in. So this will be a good way to check in with yourself with this 5K and like see where your fitness is at. Get some more data, but don't feel like you have to like get it perfect this time.
I imagine like the first time you ever got the call up to the Olympics, it must have been like life changing.
Yeah.
You must have had all these emotions from all the hardships, adversity you've faced in the past. Were there moments of like failure before you got that call up, and how did you kind of respond to that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I went to the Olympics the year after I graduated from college, so I was pretty young. I was 23.
Yeah.
And I do remember a really kind of pivotal moment my junior year of school. I had my first like major setback with health. I got injured. I had a stress reaction in my foot.
Oof.
But that moment made me realize how much running meant to me because it got taken away, right? And so I think in that moment I realized I don't want to be done with running, and I started thinking about running professionally. So and that's when like kind of the Olympic dream was, kind of began, and it began because of like a really low moment.
Something that I've struggled with a lot is injuries, stretches. Like I have a lot of SI joint stuff, back stuff, and I was wondering how you deal with injuries in your training process, and whether it's stretching, whether it's routine, or whether it's just mentality.
I love that you called out that it's a mental and physical journey, and so taking care of yourself like on both sides of that coin has been really important for me. Strength training is a big one. I think a lot of our injury stuff can really be supported or avoided by spending time in the gym. If you have a physical therapist or body worker, chiropractor, any of that kind of stuff, one thing I try and preach is like don't wait for it to get really bad before you see someone. And then maybe hitting the mental side of things too, and making sure that, if you're dealing with injury or during a time of an injury, you spend more time alone in your room with your thoughts, like that kind of stuff can happen. And so figuring out how to like get yourself out, making sure you're staying connected with your community, and maybe also just like being able to move your body in different ways, even if it's going for a walk or going for a bike ride. I found cycling during injury and absolutely fell in love with the sport of cycling. So moving your body in different ways can be important. And then also I would say maybe like a breathwork or a meditation practice has been really helpful for me during times of injury. Being able to like sit alone with your thoughts and like be still, and finding that like stillness can be a big challenge, but also I think a lot of growth can happen there and a lot of healing can happen there.
I started running this year, just ran the Boston Marathon 5K. The question I had for you is like, how do you develop your grit, like to train frequently and stuff?
Oh gosh, grit is a really good question. We've been talking a lot today with different runners about how like motivation ebbs and flows, and how sometimes you wake up and you're like, I get to go running today, and you feel amazing, and then other days you wake up and you're like, I have to go running today, or like, I'm not feeling it. And so when it feels like, what the hell am I doing, or I don't want to do this, I think it's important to go back to like, why did I start? Like, why did I make this decision to start in the first place? And does that still ring true for me? Like, is that still something you're like, yeah, I still really do want to do that for that reason?
Does it never change for you? Like, does your why not dissipate or change or whatever? Like,
Yeah, it does change, but I think like that like root why kind of does stay the same of like, I love feeling good in my body. I love the way that it feels when everything is like clicking for me. And I know that that doesn't happen all the time. Like I'm not going to like feel great all the time, but I know I'm not going to get to the good part unless I like kind of get through some of the kind of crappy, you know, periods of time. And like just seeing this group of runners out here that we just met, there was like a group of friends out here for a run, enjoying some beautiful weather. Like it kind of seems silly, but like that's it for me. Like I just love that so much. But to be able to like enjoy those like perfect, beautiful, awesome days, you also got to show up on like the rainy, cold, tired days, you know, to like make the good days like also be able to be possible.
Question to you is, what is the Olympian mindset?
It's such a broad question. Don't
I know.
Clarify, elaborate.
Like when you're running after that finish line, right? What, and you're so tired, you're so sore, you're like, I just want to go home. Like, what is that thing that kind of keeps you going every single race?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I feel like it's like just the thing. Like I'm just a very competitive person. So I think I've just like always really been that way, like really competitive and just like had a lot of drives. I can't think of like anything else in the world I'd rather do more than like be a professional runner. And so it's not always easy for sure, and I don't feel like amazing every day, but I would say that the majority of the time I feel really grateful to do what I do. If you put me on the starting line, I'm probably gonna try and win some races. So that just is like, yeah, I think it's like a natural thing probably. Yeah. Amazing. Thanks for your question. All right, that's all I have time for today, but this has been so fun. If you can leave in the comments what city I should go to next and provide snacks and running advice, let us know. I'd love to come to a city near you. And if you want more from me, you can check out Runna for a personalized running plan, and you can use code RUNNATV for 2 weeks free. I'll see you next time.